Hey everybody, we're going to get started in just a minute on the Lunch and Learn webinar, Curating Your Brand and Driving Revenue via Online Reviews with me, Kent Lewis. We'll get started in just a minute. Looking forward to connecting with you shortly. Good afternoon, and welcome to Brand and Driving Revenue via Online Reviews. I'm Kent Lewis, president and founder of Anvil Media. This is one of our monthly Lunch and Learn webinars. I guess the lunch part's probably virtual because we're a webinar now. We used to be seminars at our offices in Portland, Oregon. You can follow me on the Twitter at Kent J. Lewis, on the LinkedIn at Kent Lewis, and follow our company, Anvil Media. We're a measurable marketing agency that I guess you figured out because you had to register for this and visit our site. But without further ado, get started. So a little bit about me, so you have a little context for my point of view on this presentation. I've been running Anvil for 19 years, but I started in digital in '96, and I've been at part of 9 agencies, and I've been teaching at Portland State for about 19 years. I teach a search engine marketing workshop once a year, typically in the January, February timeframe. Also around that time, I started PDX Mindshare. That's the orange and black logo with the faces, pdxmindshare.com. We have 11,000 members on our LinkedIn group, which is primarily focused on networking and career building. But we have a weekly newsletter for jobs and events in the greater Portland area. I speak and write regularly. I'm speaking with Digital Summit 3 or 4 times this year. I've spoken in Seattle and Portland. We'll be speaking in Charlotte later this fall. So look up Digital Summit. And I write regularly for publication Smart Brief and others on these digital marketing topics like online reviews. I quarterly workshop at SCORE here in Portland and out in Hillsborough on social media marketing. It's a 3-hour workshop. It's a good value. I consult often with startups and have been involved with Oregon Entrepreneur Network. That's the OEN. And I co-founded SEMPDX in 2006, and we folded into an event, annual search marketing event called Search Fest in '05. First year we folded in after that, and SEMPDX runs that big event now called Engage. SEMPDX.org is a great resource for those looking for more information on search engine marketing, including concepts like online review management. So we're going to talk about why online reviews matter, foundation for your online review management and program, growing your online reviews, responding, taking ownership for your reviews and the feedback you receive, and provide you a few resources. We're trying to keep this as close to 30 minutes as possible so you can move along with your day. So why online reviews matter? Customers are likely to spend nearly a third of their time on a business with excellent reviews. Interestingly, a single negative review can cost the business roughly 30 customers, according to Invesp. And I've seen other research saying it's every star you add or delete, lose from Yelp can cost you plus or minus 9% of your revenue. 100%, we'll call it 92% of consumers say they will use a local business if it has at least a 5-star rating. I'm not sure how it have more than 5 stars, but maybe it's like your GPA being a 4.2 bonus points. 90% of consumers do read online reviews before visiting a business and more before buying a product, especially on sites like Amazon. 80% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations from friends and family. So are almost as trustworthy as friends and family. 72%, nearly 3/4 of consumers say that positive reviews make them trust a business more. That would make a lot of sense. I don't know what those other 27% say 5-star reviews are not trustworthy, or I love 1-star companies. I'm not sure those people probably don't chew Trident gum either. And about the same number will take an action only after reading a positive review, so action. And brands can increase customer advocacy by up to 25% by simply replying to a review, or decrease by nearly twice as much by not replying. So it's absolutely essential to respond to reviews after you get them, no matter how positive or particularly negative they might be. Last but not least, a single star review can increase the Yelp star, according to the Yelp's 5-star rating, I'm intimated to this, can increase revenue 5 to 9% for each star you add. It can also decrease by that much or more if you take the logic from the previous bullet. So the most common places that you can review a brand on that show up and rank well in search in Google results are Google My Business, Facebook, Amazon for products, Yelp for businesses, and then yellowpages.com distantly fourth or fifth. So now you know why reviews matter and why you should respond. Let's talk a little more about building a program for curating and proactively managing those reviews. I'm sorry, let's take one step back from that. Before you can be really serious about managing reviews, you have to have a more cohesive online presence. So there are a few steps you have to take. Obviously, you want as much of your brand controlling the top 10 search results for branded searches like your company name as possible. So one way to do that is optimizing your website using search engine optimization best practices. So when I do a search for Anvil Media, my website comes up first, primarily the homepage, and then maybe 5 to 6 of the most important sub pages according to Google's algorithm. Those take up space. They push the other results that I don't control or own farther down in the Google search results. So SEO, search engine optimization, is a critical first step as you sculpt your review program. Next up is claiming and optimizing your local search presence. If you have a local-based business with a street address, you need to claim and optimize your Google My Business. And even if you don't want your address because you work out of your home, it's still important to claim your address and claim your profile, and then have a service area to protect your. But there are going to be reviews whether you to respond, flag, etc., upload photos, that sort of thing. So all the main local search directories, including Yahoo and Bing, should be claimed and optimized. And you should always augment your brand with a paid search campaign. So when I do a search for Anvil, theoretically, I'll see my ad, then I'll see the organic listings, and then the fold, meaning I control what's above the fold just with one ad and one organic rank with my website and related subpages. Takes up a lot of real estate. So that's, even if you are one of the rare brands that has all 5-star reviews on all the review sites and they all rank in the top 10, you are hedging your bets so that if people do scroll, they'll see the positive reviews. If those reviews change to negative, you've hedged your bets a little bit. And there are many other reasons to buy your brand, including improving your organic click-through, generating high qualified leads, protecting your brand from a goodwill brand legal standpoint. I've written an article on this topic you can check out on our website. And then social media, by claiming and optimizing the popular social media platforms, your profile or page on those platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, etc., tend to rank for your brand. So you can see examples of YouTube and Facebook ranking, and then there are other directory sites as well that you should claim and optimize your listings on those directories. And then do some public relations and as needed influencer marketing so that you are creating positive press that also augment and round out the search results. Again, this presentation is mostly about managing online reviews, but this is also indirectly about managing your reputation and those search results in the top 10, primarily page 1 for your branded searches, because that does sculpt your reputation, your brand, and reviews are just a subset of that. So let's talk about once you've kind of crafted your presence, you have control with your ads, your organic, your local, and you have maybe some good coverage and directory listings, then you want to more aggressively go out and secure more reviews. When you're proactive, you tend to identify happy customers. You're reminding them to review you, so your stars tend to go up. But start with rules of engagement. When are we going to ask for reviews? How are we going to ask for reviews? There's a local salon in town that sent one blast email to all their customers saying, please review us on Yelp. And Yelp saw a flood of incoming reviews and flagged them all and sent her a note saying, you can't do that. I'm not sure why that you can't do that. You're not asking them what to say, you're just reminding them. But the lesson there is Yelp and other sites are looking for any gaming of the system. They tend to discount any reviews that happen while you're on premises because those might be incentivized or influenced. So there are a variety of tools you can use to monitor and suggest people review through these tools and track them. These are just a few of those that when monitoring or managing reviews. I use mention.com. It's a great way to identify any chatter about your brand out on social, because Google Alerts only tells you about new listings or changes in Google search results, which can be slow or relatively unchanging for your brand search. So you want to see what the buzz is, and a way that's a free tool for that. And all these other tools. It helps to provide your team some training on how to manage reviews, how to monitor reviews. And these tools can definitely streamline that, but don't rely too heavily. It's good to do manual searches, maybe once a week, on your brand and your products, and just see what's showing up. Check your suggested search results to see if there are any new phrases that are trending. And we'll talk more about what to do when you find those reviews in a second. So the first thing you need to know is do not delete reviews, especially on sites you control, because you never know whose review you deleted and how much juice they have out in the world and can create a stink. It's better to respond to a negative review than to delete it. The only time that we ever recommend deleting reviews is when they're completely inappropriate, swearing, threats, that sort of thing, where it's useless, if not useless, and just record screenshots of what it was before you delete it. So if anybody says, I had a positive review and you deleted it, you can say, nope, this is what you said, and it's a violation of terms and conditions. And so therefore it helps. If your website has review capabilities, make sure you have terms and conditions to protect yourself. The third-party sites all have terms and conditions that you can usually flag an inappropriate review. But you yourself should not be deleting reviews if at all possible. If you want to get in trouble with Yelp or any other review site, incentivize reviews. Say, hey, we'll pay you for this positive review. Violation. You're technically probably can get in trouble for back-end incentivizing. So if somebody writes a review and you thank them later with a gift, if you're consistently doing that, that's the same as incentivizing on the front end because it's changing behavior. So be very wary and careful if you're going to go that route. Verify authenticity, right? It's really important if you see a ridiculous review, a negative review, that you verify as best you can who they are. So if it's a one review with no history to it, it has no credibility, it's easy to flag if it even ever gets through the machinations and filters of the big review sites like Yelp and Google. But if it is a legit review, then you need to verify who they are as best you can. Are they a real customer? How credible are they? And the beauty of these reviews is you have to pretty much log in and not be anonymous to be credible. So you can pretty much chase the paper trail and see who these people are and whether, and how important and how timely it is to respond. Always respond to reviews, good and bad, positive and negative. There's a caveat here we'll talk in a second, but generally speaking, thank your positive reviews and address quickly your negative reviews. The only times you might not respond to a uber positive or negative review is if you can't do it without coming off cheesy for a positive review and non-negative review. If other customers or your fans are already taking somebody to task for a ridiculous review, then letting them speaks greater volumes than you trying to clarify. If it doesn't need to be said, a ridiculous review, these people say disregard, you may not have to respond. But generally, that's going to happen 1% of the time. Pick the right tone. It's hard not to be defensive, but please don't. Here's an example, a couple examples. I'd skip the breakfast tacos, overly fried shoestring potatoes and tortilla with a hunk of melted cheese, yuck. And then this person that responded, the business owner said, thanks, was looking for a new way to describe my tacos on my menu. You, ma'am, have a way with words. Do you offer consulting? So you can be tongue-in-cheek, you can be genuine, but if somebody has a dumb review, sometimes it helps to be kitschy about it and not as defensive. Above all else, I've had to coach businesses on how to, from a business standpoint, how to address reviews. And it's not the response that matters, the public response of the words you use so much as the actions you take. So I highly recommend, this is what I do as a business owner, is anytime there is a complaint or an issue, public or private, I acknowledge that person, I acknowledge the complaint, I acknowledge the issue. If it's an absurd complaint or issue, I might just simply acknowledge, I'm sorry they feel that way, but BS, and here's why. But not in a necessarily defensive way, just in a very factual way. I've met too many brands that do not lean into the complaints and use it as an opportunity to learn and improve and message how much they care, that they're responsive. So acknowledging is huge. And it's not the mantra, the customer's always right, because the customer is not always right. But they need to feel important. They need to feel recognized. And just responding and acknowledging, I'm sorry you feel this way, is always a great way to start. And then from there you can say, we don't agree with your assessment, but we understand you're frustrated, and let's go from here and see if we can work it out. So first step is acknowledgement. Second step is provide contact information, ideally to get the conversation offline as quickly as possible so there's not big flames back and forth that are recorded in memoriam on the internet forever. It's, we're sorry you're having this issue. We're sorry you feel this way. We'd love to rectify and resolve the situation. And please call or email this address and we will we will talk to you right away. It shows your customers or anybody seeing the review that you're timely, responsive, that you care, and that you're willing to have a direct relationship and conversation to try to resolve any issue. And then once you've addressed the issue, so what I recommend is actually, if there are issues that are recurring, or even if it's a one-off errant issue, that you come back some, and this is, I'm speaking for myself, I've reached out to a company with my dissatisfaction simply in hopes they'll fix it for the future people, not so worried about myself. It's already been done. The issue's I've already digested and resolved that was a less than perfect experience. But hey, by the way, in the future, why don't you fix this? So if you can say, hey, thank you for that. I have resolved the issue. I just want to let you know, sometimes that's all you need. So that they know that it won't happen again. I would say that might take care of 20 or 30% of your audiences. We've addressed this issue, we've fixed it for moving forward, but typically for 80%, that's not going to be enough. So then you need to figure out how to make them happy as best you can. I've learned the easy way or the hard way that you can offer something right away, but it's more than they actually wanted or needed. And now you've just unnecessarily cost yourself a lot of extra time or money, when it's better just to ask, what's it going to take to make you happy? If they come back with something absurd, you come back with your original offer. How about this instead? Or if they come back with something minor, you might even say, well, I'm happy to do that. And how about if I give you this gift card as well? So I think it's always helpful to find out where they're at first. It's not always advantageous in negotiations to be the second to make the offer, to not be the first. But in this case, I think it's when they're complaining, you're asking, well, what can I do? It makes sense. And then lastly, once you feel you've addressed the issue, it's good to circle back. And if they haven't posted a recap of how the issue has been addressed, which I would recommend doing if they're totally happy, hey, you wouldn't mind providing an update, would you? Then that's great. And if they won't, you should. And you may want to anyway. They say, great, Anvil helped solve the problem. I'm super happy and would recommend them. And I might chime in and say, we're happy to have helped you. We've addressed the issues and we look forward to not having this issue again, but thank you for reaching out and we hope others will do the same. A great chance to reemphasize your key messaging that you care and share key learnings with future folks. It's kind of like having a troubleshooting for future reference. So you can see here that this Mark Murphy, that American Airlines said did not understand that Mark Murphy said, congrats to US Airways for creating the largest, crappiest airline in the world. They said, thanks for your support. We look forward to a bright future. And they clearly just ignored it. So American Airlines responding to every tweet doesn't always work when they're not doing it thoughtfully. They look really, really stupid for responding thoughtlessly to being called the shittiest airline in the world. So food for thought, give it some personal attention. So there are a couple other thoughts here related to the resources. I wanted to keep this short, and boy, howdy, did I succeed. So a couple things to keep in mind. You want to build a broad foundation with organic search, paid search, local search, social media, and PR to help reputation. Managing online reviews is just a subset. So make sure that you've claimed and optimized any site where reviews can be posted so that you can manage those reviews. And then you want to increase and incentivize, no, not incentivize, you want to increase reviews by just simply reminding people, but you don't want to do it all at once through blast emails that can be easily measured and tracked by Yelp and the like. You want to throttle them out organically, naturally over time. If you're, say, a restaurant, you might want to have a little piece of paper or a business card saying, hey, if that was a good experience, take this with you. Or if you have their email address, which is common when you get receipts, when they want receipts electronically, just remind them via email and incorporate a link to Google My Business, Yelp, or whatever the relevant site is. So you can grow your reviews and scope those. You can also, one thing I didn't mention that I will in the future is syndicate those reviews. I think that's really important. So you want to make sure that as you get some good reviews, that folks are seeing it and that you're getting the word out there and using the concept of social proof. With so many people relying on those reviews, it's really important. So that's another factor. And then the other component is there are some articles, resource articles that I included in here, like this, how SMBs boost their online reviews. I didn't write that. I wrote many of these, but there is another component of online reputation management, and that's employees. Beyond Glassdoor, there's a component of just how employees engage online, how creating a strong culture can influence your online reviews, and some other elements in that outlined in that article. And then there's just generally a lot of focus on reputation management because reviews, you have a 1-star review on a site, you want the site to get out of the top 10 while you generate more positive stars on that site to mitigate its visibility and turn it into an asset. So a lot of these articles, they're talk about reputation management, but there are some tools you can use to monitor reviews. And I think that's important. I hope this has been helpful. You can, hopefully you've enjoyed this relatively short presentation with tons of related research. There is an article associated with this presentation that's linked to in this that you saw in those links. And if you have any questions, you can email me, kent@anvilmedia.com, and you will get a copy of this deck if you've registered and attended. And you can always visit our Insights section for more information. And I do recommend signing up for our newsletter on our website under Contact Us. We have monthly updates and so forth. And then, of course, you can follow us on social media at Anvil Media across the social graph. So I want to thank you for your time, and I hope to see you at a future Lunch and Learn webinar. I believe next month we have a webinar at the end of the month on content marketing. We'll send you a link to that when it's ready, and we look forward to seeing you then or at one of our future webinars. That you can see our upcoming calendar on our website under Insights Webinars. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Let's see this.
Sure.
Okay. Where do you save it?
It should just save it on
Anvil app. It's an Anvil.
my computer.
So would it be under marketing?
Yeah, go back up there. Recorder. Oh, wait, go stop sharing. There we go. And then right here.
So yeah, it's here. It's trying to go into my network. So I want to go to Dropbox, Anvil FS, webinar. No. Can we just put under marketing webinar attendees?
Yeah, it works.
Okay. And that's the right file format, W, whatever. Okay. What is this doing?
It looks like it's recording you. I'm gonna just log in.
It doesn't look like. I feel like it has an end, so it's like processing.
Yeah, can I take over?
Yeah. Deck was built for digital summit, which was only 25 minutes.